everyone! Today I am going to be showing you my April TBR. For those of you who don't know, I started a new series on my channel called BookTubers Pick My TBR. If you want to learn more about it, you can click the link to the video up in the card in the corner, and that has all the details on it. But basically, a quick rundown of what it is. Every few months I collaborate with another booktuber, and we each pick 4 books for each other, 2 off of the other person's TBR and 2 just outright. This month I've already changed the rules a little bit, and we only picked 3 books for each other, 2 off the other person's TBR and 1 that wasn't on their TBR. So that is what I'm going to be showing you guys today, as well as some of the other books that I would like to read in April. So let's just get started. So the booktuber that I collaborated with this month was Chloe from Brunette Bibliophile. I'll leave a link to her channel and her TBR video in the description box. We each picked out 3 books for each other, and I'm going to be going over all of those books today. First, I will just tell you the 3 books that I picked for her really quickly and why I picked those books for her. So the 2 that I picked off of her TBR, I actually hadn't read any of the books on her TBR, so I just picked the ones that I would most likely want to read. The first one was the Shadowhunters Codex, which is a book that goes along with the Shadowhunter books, like the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices, which I am currently making my way through all those books, so I thought it was fitting that I would pick this book. And the second one I picked was A Study in Charlotte, which is basically like a mystery novel that's kind of like, not a retelling of Sherlock Holmes, but it follows the descendants of Sherlock Holmes and Watson, so I love mystery novels. I should pick this one up soon. And then the one that I picked for her that wasn't on her TBR was Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. I had just recently read this book at the time of us picking these books for each other, and I really enjoyed this book. It's a You've Got Mail retelling, and I know that Chloe likes contemporary books, so I thought that she would enjoy this one, and I really hope that she does enjoy all of the books that I picked out for her. So now on to the ones that she picked for me. First one that she picked off of my Goodreads TBR was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is the first Rainbow Rowell book that I'll have ever read. I know that this is a contemporary story that follows this girl called Kath who is going to college, and she writes these fanfiction stories for Simon Snow, which is kind of like a parody of Harry Potter. And of course she meets this guy, I believe his name is Levi, and a lot of people seem to love this book, so I am super excited to pick it up. It's a lot bigger than I anticipated it to be. Like, this is a pretty big contemporary book. Like, I feel like there are a lot of words on every page, so that makes me a little bit nervous, but I'm still super excited to read it. The second book that she picked off of my TBR is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This is the first book in the Grisha trilogy. I had read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom last year, and they were one of my favorite books of the year, but I do think I'd have gotten more out of them had I read the Grisha trilogy first, because that's like technically how you're supposed to read them. So now I'm finally getting around to reading them. And I don't know much about what these are about besides the fact that they're high fantasy, and there is a character called the Darkling, which I have a feeling I'm going to really love just based off of what other people say, so I'm pretty excited for this book. And then the book that she picked for me that was not on my TBR was Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. This, everyone knows what this is about since it's just been turned into a film that everyone seems to love, but this is a contemporary story that follows this boy called Simon, and he's gay, but I don't think he's come out yet, but he's like talking anonymously with this other boy who is gay that goes to his school, and someone finds these emails and tries to blackmail Simon. So I'm pretty excited to read this book, and I hear that you love Simon as a main character, so I am very excited to pick this up, which hopefully I will be able to do because the film is coming out. Everybody and their mother wants to read this book. I'm like the 17th hold for this book at my library, so let's hope that 17 people can read this book real fast so I can get to it. So those are all of the books that Chloe picked for me. If you couldn't tell, I am very excited for all of them. Like, this worked out very well for me. So now I'm just going to show you some of the other books that I would like to try and read in April. I am currently reading 2 books. The first one is Into the Gauntlet by Margaret Patterson Haddix. This is the 10th and final book in the 39 Clues series. If you guys don't know, I had read books 1 through 7 in this series when I was a bit younger, but I had never finished the books, so I recently reread books 1 through 7, and now I'm reading books 8 through 10 for the first time. So I'm super happy to finally be getting a conclusion to this series after so many years. And then I'm currently rereading Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. I decided I wanted to reread the Lunar Chronicles, starting with Scarlet because I had already read Cinder twice, twice, and so far I'm about 200 pages into it, but I'm enjoying this even more than the first time I read it, which I didn't think was possible, but I think because I'm already really familiar with these characters, I'm just like loving them right off the bat in this one, whereas when I first read it, it took me a while to kind of get used to like Scarlet and Wolf and the new characters that are introduced in this book. The next book on my TBR was actually one of my most anticipated books of the year, and that is Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. This is the 4th book in the Twisted Tales series, which is basically a series of companion novels that are the Disney films but with some kind of twist, but like the stories very closely resemble the Disney films. So this one is Mulan, and it says, what if Mulan had to travel to the underworld? Mulan is one of my favorite Disney films, at least out of all of the ones that they have done in this series so far, so I'm super excited to see their take on this, and I really hope that the author does these characters justice. And then the final book on my TBR is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. As I said, I am currently making my way through all of the Shadowhunter books. I heard the best way to read them is in publication date, so I read the first 3 in the Mortal Instruments, so this would be the next one. I'd actually read the first chapter or 2 of this back in February, and then I just got distracted by other books, so I never finished it, but what I had read so far was pretty good, so I'm excited to finally actually read it. So those are all of the books that I have on my TBR for April. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, which ones you think I should get to first. And yeah, that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!